Okay. Baruch Hashem, everybody. Baruch Hashem, Aaron. Good to see you. Welcome. All right, we begin the book of Bemidbar. Okay, let's go. So, Bemidbar, let me just say a couple of points. We start with the census. And Bemidbar is about flags. Every tribe gets a flag, but they're all around the Mishkan. Hello, Erez, grab a Chumash. Erez. We're wearing the Chumash with the Rashi. And also, Erez, I like the beard on you. I think you should keep it. Certainly till after graduation. You want to wear a beard for your graduation photo. What? Of course. Yeah. Yeah. So I love the fact that every tribe has their own flag. Why do we need 12 different flags? Why don't we just have one flag? So you hear the question, are you? We're just studying Bamidbar eras, Parshas Bamidbar. So why do we need 12 different flags? So the pshat is that it's that the Torah doesn't want everybody to be the same. Torah doesn't want us to everybody. The Torah doesn't want there to be an infinite number of tribes, but there's 12 tribes. You have a chumash, is that okay? Yeah. Yeah, that's good, Eris. It has been Midbar, you're past, you're in the Haftorahs. So the Torah recognizes that there are different ways to serve Hashem. Within the Jewish people, here I saw this beautiful quote from the Lubavitcher Rebbe yesterday. I'm just going to get into this. Where did I see this? Where did I see this quote? Hold on. Where did I see this beautiful quote?
While you're looking for it, the Rav in his Chamesh Drashot talked about the flag of Israel representing for us the incredible unity that we all stand behind this flag, and he spoke about how soldiers are wrapped in the flag of Israel after they fall in battle. But he also noted the idea of the separation of the tribes in modern terms. Basically, every unit has its own unique service and qualification, and therefore Hashem is praising us in that way, where we all know that we have our own unique mission and
Beautiful.
quality.
I love that. So that's great stuff. Hello, Norai. I don't know why I can't find this. Because the problem is I read this beautiful book on Shabbos and I can't mark it up. But I basically unfortunately I can't find it. I can't find it here, but yeah, it's such a beautiful quote. I'll find it at a later time. Anyway, the point is that for the Jewish people, there are 12 ways to serve Hashem, 12 different tribes. Each one of us has our own flag, and it's okay to be a different type of Jew than the other person. But we have to be part of one of the 12 flags. We can't be so out there. There's not an infinite number. So that's, to me, what I always think about this parasha. Also, the other thing I always think about this parasha as a whole is that the Torah counts each and every one of us, and each and every one of us has meaning and value by being part of the whole, meaning part of all of Am Yisrael. That if you want to have meaning in your life, our lives are so insignificant. If we want to have meaning, we have to be part of a whole. We have to be part of something much bigger than us. So Let's go to the book of Bemidbar, chapter 1, verse 1. Nehorai. Vakasha Nehorai.
וידבר השם אל משה במדבר שני
Sinai.
סיני בעל מועד באחד לחודש השני בשנה השנת יצאתם מארץ מצרים לעמו.
Excellent, Nehorai. God spoke to Moshe Bemidbar Sinai in the Sinai wilderness. Why was the Torah given in a wilderness? Do you know? Anybody know the answer to that question? Why was the Torah given in a wilderness? A classic question. We can talk about that another time. In the Sinai wilderness, where's the Sinai wilderness? Not the Sinai desert. That's not the Sinai desert. That was given its name in the 6th century. It's in northern Saudi Arabia where I was. And so God spoke to Moses in the Sinai wilderness in the Ol Moed, in the first day of the month of the Echad LaChodesh Hashini, in the first day of the second month of the second year after they left Egypt. So that is the first day of the month of Iyar, 1 year and 1 month after they left Egypt. Okay, so let's look at the Rashi. So what's going to happen is Hashem is going to count the Jewish people. There's going to be a census. Didn't we just count them? We just had a counting. So when was there a counting? After the golden calf. Look at Rashi. Erez, you want to read the Rashi?
Try.
You can try? Good.
מתוך
מתוך חיבתן.
מתוך חובתם לפניו מונה אותם כל
Kol sha'ah.
Kol sha'ah.
Okay, wait, stop for a second. Because God loved them so much, he counts them all the time. Like if a person, let's say Norai has a big, let's say he's washing cars. If anybody needs a car wash, detail, Norai, one of his many jobs, he does. So it's advertising for Norai, right, Norai? You'll do a good job. So let's say at the end of the day, he makes a few shekels, and he's feeling good about himself, as he should, because he worked hard. He might count it a couple of times just to make sure, because you feel good. So how much more so is God loves us so much, so because he counted us when we left Egypt, and he counted us after the sin of the golden calf, and now he's counting us again 3 times in 1 year. It's because he loves us so much. Because he loves us so much. How you doing, Eric?
Good.
How you doing, Eric? This is the parsha. For when I was growing up, I always felt like this is one thing that the federations do great is demographics, demographic studies. This is the parsha of the demographics. To know the numbers, you have to know the numbers. A demographic study. So, Kishayatsu Mitzrayim, when they departed from Egypt. Oh, I want to say, Eric. Let me ask you, Eric.
Yes.
In your professional opinion, do you think the Maccabi games are going to happen?
Yes.
Okay, because I was invited to do something very special.
And I talked to them this week that they are determined, of course, something else could happen, but they're pretty determined.
Are you going to be there?
For sure.
Oh, because I was invited. This is the thing. If you're there, it'd be great if we joined it. So somebody, because Eric would know, but there's this man, very special man. I don't want to say his name because I don't know if it's public, but he decided to make a lot of the soldiers who lost limbs. He got them to. There's this sport in Israel which is everybody's playing. It's going crazy called paddle. Have you heard of it? Okay. Anyway, look at paddle, and he started a paddle league for the soldiers who lost limbs, and they're on a team. Each team has one person who is an amputee, and the other one who's has fully limbed and full limbed. And so they made like a Paralympics, which are going to have like a team at the Maccabi games and like a thing. And they invited me to write a Torah at that game, and then it'll be like a Torah for the Maccabees. So I was thinking, yeah, of course, because it'd be such a big honor for me to. Can you imagine? Like these people are all heroes. Like and one of the guys who lost his limbs said this is what helps me get up in the morning to participate in these games, to be on a team and like competitive. And so I really just want the opportunity to be there at that.
Yeah, that's scheduled.
They're scheduled for July 1st or 14th, but I don't know. I mean, I'm only going to go for like the day or two. I'm not going to go for the games. I'm for the whole games.
There's a hobby village, but they do it, I think it's all week, but that's not.
But normally thousands and 10,000 people come. But this time there's going to be much smaller because of the fact that these flights are so uncertain and so expensive. Okay, so okay, anyway.
Trying, they want to.
All right, so we're this Erez is reading. Hey, Ezra, how you doing? You grab a chumash, Ezra. Thank you. So it says that he counted them 3 times, and kishinafu be'egel, kishiyatzu mitzrayim manan, kishinafu be'egel manan. When they went out of Egypt, he counted them. Why did he count them there? To know how many are there. When they left, when they died in the golden calf, he counted them to know how many people are left, to know how many died. Go on, Erez. Kishebal Ashrot.
Well, I lost it.
Kishebal Ashrot Shchinato Aleim, and now he's coming to put his divine presence upon them with the Mishkan, and to count, he counted them. Be'echad b'Nisan hukama Mishkan, u'be'echad ba'ir mina'am. So the Mishkan was just built, and so now he's counting them a 3rd time. He doesn't really need to count them. He's only counting them out of love. What a powerful idea. What a powerful idea that this shows us the love that Hashem has for us, that he counts us again and again. A census today is a very political concept because like you're trying to show I'm better than the other one. There's more of us, somebody's victorious. So Rashi is saying the census was just to show the love, just to show how much Hashem cares about us. Okay.
And also,
yes.
Rabbi,
Yes.
we love our gold. So there's quite a few stories of our history where people were counting their gold coins because they were so precious to them. So it stopped in World War II, by the way, both in the United States and Canada, where people weren't allowed to keep their 10 and 20 gold pieces. But they used to do this regularly because it was just so precious, and
people count the things that they love.
expensive.
They take out their collections and they look at them. Very nice. Okay, who would like to read? Aryeh, please. Read the next pasuk. Pasuk bet. Se'u.
Es Rosh Kol Adat Israel Lemish Fosan Levis Avosan Far Shemot Kol Safar Visual Yavosan.
Okay, Se'u. What does the word Se'u mean? It means to count, but the word Se'u can also mean to lift up. And so really, this is this is not the Rashi here, it's the Ramban in Parshas Kisisa. He says, when you're counting, you're lifting up the person. You have to remember that you could count in a way that minimizes the person and makes them just a number, or you could count in a way that elevates them and recognizes their dignity. A lot of organizations want to say like, oh, you're a number, you're just a number. You're like, we have 433,000 members, then you feel like you're not being used. So you feel like you don't count. So the most important thing, says the Ramban, is to count in a way that lifts everybody up. So that's the concept. So you lift them, count the people as Rosh. You're counting the heads. As Rosh called Das Israel. Take a counting of the head. You're counting each head of the entire congregation of Israel. Of course, the classic question about counting is, why was David HaMelech punished for counting? He did a census, and for this reason, he was punished. So so he counted in the wrong way. But anyway, he counted without being told to. But anyway, so counting the heads of each people according to their families, Beis Avosam. You count everyone according to their families, according to their father's house. The Mispar Shemos called Zachar Gugolotam. By the number of the names, every male according to their head count. Let's look at the Rashi there. Erez, you reading the Rashi, Pasuk Bet.
Dominant
The
called
Mishpachotam, Leida Minyan. You want to know their number.
Dominant called Shabbat.
To know the number of each tribe. So the Torah doesn't. It was important for the Torah to know the number of each tribe. Beit Avotam. Okay, go on.
بدوتها مش أبيب مش شبه آخر أبي مر مش شبه آخر يكون على شبه أبي.
Right, somebody whose father was from one tribe and their mother was from the other tribe, you go to the father's tribe. So we have this to this day, no, right? Like, let's say your father's a Kohen and your mother's an Israelite. What are you? A Kohen. Let's say your mother's a Kohen and your father's an Israelite. What are you? An Israelite. Whether or not you're Jewish goes after your mother, but whether or not what tribe you're in goes after your father. Why? That's a good question. The tribes is because of the inheritance. So that's where they inherit the land, going back to your fathers. So you have to make sure. But how did it develop that the tribes, that the lineage followed the mother? That the Gemara in Yevamos discusses, and we have to review it. That's the discussion in the Gemara in Yevamos. So there, I believe, if I remember correctly, the Gemara, I think it's like around Mem Vav or Mem Hey Yevamos. You can look it up on Chat GPT. Where does Yevamos discuss the matrilineal lineage? If I remember there, the Gemara just assigns it to a verse. The Gemara just says it's Xeris HaKosov. If anybody wants to fact check me, I always appreciate that. Okay. What?
Rabbi, do you know Rabbi Buchenwald from NJOP?
No.
So he came to Boca Raton when we were there, and he said, I don't know how you do it in Boca Raton, but here in New York, we pull on the umbilical cord, and whoever is on this other side is the mother. And it was based on a research that was done where they proved that a certain percentage were not really of the father. So, but it was imposed on us.
Right. So that's today's daf yomi.
But it was imposed on us by the Roman government, not because if it was actually already back in biblical times, the nephew of Achav was the king of Yerushalayim, and he was the daughter of the son of the sister of Jezebel. So according to our rules today, he would not be Jewish. But in biblical times, they went by either the father or mother.
Okay, but the Gemara cites a verse for it. Gemara has a verse for it, but I thought you were going to say something else. That's our daf yomi for today. The Gemara is going to say, how can you ever kill? There's a prohibition in the Torah for you're not allowed to curse your parents or strike your parents. How can you ever be put to death for striking your father when you don't know for sure that he's your father? Reasonable doubt. How can they didn't have paternity tests back then? How can you prove that he's your father? So the Gemara says that's how the proof that we follow the principle. The Gemara says maybe there's a scenario. Anyway, that's today's daf. But that reminded me of another major question. At one time, Reb Chaim of Brisk, he said to one time the Beis Halevi said to his son, Reb Chaim, he said to him, if I have to bring, there's halacha. If your father asks you to do something and your mother asks you to do something, who are you supposed to listen to? Anybody know the answer? There's Mother's Day. So the halacha, according to halacha, all things being equal, which they never are, you're supposed to listen to your father. All things being equal. All things being equal, which they never are. but
Davka the Mother's Day.
okay, wait, slow down. So when the Beis Halevi says Reb Chaim, he says, if I ask you to do something and your mother asks you to do something, who should you bring? Who should you bring the coffee to first? So Reb Chaim said, well, really, I should bring it to my mother first, even though the halacha is my father. Said I have a question because my mother, I know for sure is my mother. My father, how do I know for sure? Can always be a doubt. There can always be a doubt that whether or not he's my father. So the answer to that, the Beis Halevi said, was no. It would be bigger disrespect to your mother to say that I'm only a doubtful your father. That would be the biggest. You follow that? Anyway, that's a whole thing there. It's in a whole Indian. Okay, Aaron, you read the next pasuk, please. No, wait. We'll go Golas. How do you count? Al Yedei Shkalim. Back out local Golas. You count through Shkalim. You count through Shkalim. Yeah. You read the next pasuk. Pasuk Kim.
It's a Sabbath Israel to do someone's. It's all some the
Okay. So at the age of 20 years old, whoever goes out to the army in Israel, you should count them with Tzivos Samatav Aaron. So this, I remember so Rashi says this tells us that you only go out to that you don't go out to the army if you're under the age of 20. There is a man whose name is Jonathan. He told us a story about this, I think last year or the year before. He said that he came back from his year in Israel and he went to go to the army, and his parents said, no, we're not ready for you to go to the IDF. So they said they had a difference of agreement. So they said, let's call Rav Schachter. They didn't know Rav Schachter. They said, let's call him up. So they called the payphone at YU. This was like 20 years ago. And Rav Schachter, they said, we have a shayla for Rav Schachter. So Rav Schachter doesn't know. Then we get on the phone, and he says, what's your question? He says, I want to go to the army. My parents say that they don't want me to go yet. So he said, how old are you? So he said, I'm 19. He said, well, the pasuk says at the age of 20. So the age of 20 you go, but not 19. So anyway, so the boy didn't go, but then he never went. So maybe that's what the parents wanted. Okay, Aaron, read one more and then we'll top the Daven Mincha. Right. So Ubeis Havosafu and Vitchem you, and with you shall be, when you do the counting, you have to have with you one man from each tribe, the head of each tribe. So when you do the counting, kishetifkedu otam, yuimachem nasi kol shevet for shevet. When you count them, you have to have with you one man, the head of each tribe. Why? Why do you have to have the head of each tribe? What's the reason for this law? Anybody have an answer? What's the reason for
They
this
know
law?
them better.
Maybe like to prove that they're really them. Or I was thinking that
No, but just that they know them better. Like my commander in the platoon wanted me to invite him to my wedding.
I got it. So to show that they
Like,
know them. So there's this special connection. There'll also be to add chashivus to it, to show like the importance of it, that show that you're not just to show how much you count individually, that you have the head of your tribe is there to count you, the head of the Am Yisrael, Bnei Yisrael, Moshe Rabbeinu. This is, to show you the significance of who you are and what you're joining. Is how important. It might be the only time they got to interact with Moshe Rabbeinu and the head of their tribe. This might have been the only time, but they got most people have never met their, like senator or governor or congressperson or president. And this would be like, or their general. This would be their moment. Okay, we'll stop here to daven mincha at this time. Baruch Hashem. Happy Mother's